Greetings from G Adventures, and thanks for joining us. My name is Erin, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about G Adventures and a private itinerary that we have set up with Alicia at Kaleidoscope Travel and Cruise. Launching in May of 2016, we're going to be doing a special departure of our Taste in Turkey adventure tour. If you haven't traveled with G Adventures before, we really like to encourage our travelers to get off the beaten path. We are a small group adventure travel company based in Canada, but we offer itineraries on all 7 continents to 109 different countries around the globe. This particular itinerary takes you to one of my most favorites, though, the magical country of Turkey. With our journeys, we really encourage you to get local. We want to make sure that you're getting up close and personal in the destination that you've chosen to visit, and you're getting a little bit lost, but not too lost. The journey that we have on the agenda for today includes a really beautiful destination of Turkey. So when it comes to the most desired locales to visit, Turkey tends to fly under the radar. We can't imagine why, though. Throughout 9 days of Turkey's best highlights, we'll visit the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, the Göreme Open Air Museum, and World War I sites in Gallipoli. We'll also take a jaunt to the ancient Roman town of Ephesus, turn the ancient city of Troy, and of course no trip to this amazing, vibrant country would be complete without wine tastings, delicious meals, sampling native cuisine. Throw in comfortable accommodations, private transfers, quick flights, and you'll want to go back, kind of like I do. So I actually took this itinerary just less than a year ago, and I have to say it really is a great way to experience all that Turkey has to offer. It's a 9-day journey departing Istanbul on May 5th, 2016. This itinerary includes a ton of highlights, including a walking tour of Old Istanbul, including the Blue Mosque, Hippodrome, and Hagia Sophia, a tour of Ankara, including Ataturk's Mausoleum, the Roman Quarter, and the Museum of Anatolian Civilization, a guided walk in the Göreme Open Air Museum, a walk in the Rose Valley in the Cappadocia region, dinner in a local family home, and I have to say it's one of the best meals I've had in my entire life. We do an orientation walk in Selçuk, including the Temple of Artemis, the Mosque of Ilabe, and the remains of the St. John Basilica. At Ephesus, we have a guided tour with a local expert guide, an entrance into the Ephesus Museum. We do wine tasting in Firenze, which is an old Greek town. We have a guided visit to Troy, an excursion to Gallipoli. This particular itinerary includes 8 breakfasts, 1 dinner. We have transportation included, all on private minibus, flights included, and of course we've got a pretty spectacular, amazing local guide, which we call a Chief Experience Officer at G Adventures. The style of travel is called comfort. Our comfort style includes great adventures, genuine experiences, insider access with a few extra frills included along the way. We're going to be staying in what we classify as upgraded accommodations. So these are quality accommodations, upgraded amenities chosen for location and character. Private transport, as I mentioned, including flights are included, more meals and activities, and all of the top highlights. Plus, with G Adventures, there's lots of time to explore on your own. So I'm going to go through this 9-day itinerary with you. If you do have any questions at all, I'm going to include Alicia's contact information at the end of the program. This is being recorded, so of course you can go back and see any piece that you're more interested in at a later time. Day 1, Istanbul. This is our arrival day. On this particular day, we don't have any activities planned, so you're free to arrive whenever you'd like. Generally speaking, with the G Adventures itinerary, we meet at 6 p.m. in the starting point hotel. Alicia will be able to take care of any international flight arrangements to get you there into Turkey on time. And the hotel that we're staying at in Istanbul is really pretty spectacular, centrally located within maybe a 10-minute walking distance from most of the major highlights and sites in Istanbul. One of the features of the hotel, of course, is that it's smaller and locally owned, so you really have a nice, warm, welcoming experience when you arrive into Istanbul. Day 2 on this itinerary, we include a walking tour of Istanbul, which will take us through to the Blue Mosque, the Hippodrome, and the Hagia Sophia. Our G Adventures CEO will be there on hand to answer any questions that you might have, to let you know where you should go for shopping, of course, and also to organize if there's anything extra that you want to do. The city tour is in the morning, so in the afternoon you're free to wander around if you'd like. There's lots of things to pick up and do once you get into Istanbul. There's options to take a boat tour. There's options to go to a Turkish bath if you'd like. We also have a great suggested option is visiting the Topkapi Palace, which was once home to the Ottoman sultans and their harems. It's now a museum hosting a number of collections ranging from porcelains found in Europe, Asia, and China to weaponry and to my favorite, the diamond jewel area. Breakfast is included on this particular day, but you're free to kind of pick and choose what you'd like to do for the rest of your meals. In Istanbul, lots to see and do. This is actually just outside of the Grand Bazaar. Grand Bazaar is a site that has actually had 1 million visitors in a day. So as you can see from the next photo, it's quite a busy place to check out. Really incredible for culture. You can pick up lots of souvenirs. You can bring home Turkish delight. You can pick up some really amazing spices, beautiful, beautiful silk scarves, incredible souvenirs in the Grand Bazaar. What we like to suggest at this point in time, though, with our groups, of course, is to check out what you'd like to purchase and maybe put aside some time at the end of the journey so you're not carrying around all of your souvenirs, because it's very easy to get a little bit crazy in the Grand Bazaar. Turkish coffee is probably one of my favorite rituals that I had every day in Turkey. Once you're in the Grand Bazaar, they'll also suggest that you try some apple tea. It's a kind of a negotiating tool for the locals when they're trying to make a sale in the Grand Bazaars to offer you either a coffee or an apple tea so you can sit down and think about the purchase that you're about to make. Really incredible warm hospitality from the Turkish people, and this is just the tipping point of the incredible tastes that are about to come on this particular itinerary. One thing I'd like to mention, of course, Turkey is a Muslim country, so there will be call to prayer quite early in the morning. Very important to dress respectfully when you're going into any of these ancient sites. This is a sign that was located outside of the Hagia Sophia, where it suggests what to wear and what not to wear. Once you've confirmed onto this tour with your deposit of $250, we will provide you with a full packing list of items to prepare your journey into Turkey. If you do not pack a headscarf for the women, there is opportunity to borrow or rent one from a lot of the properties in the mosques that you'd be going into, but it's really just nice to either bring one from home or purchase one at the Grand Bazaar because you will be using it quite a few different times throughout this journey. On this day, we are spending some time in the Hagia Sophia, really beautiful place. Interesting history here, of course, because it was a church and then a mosque, and then a church, and then a mosque. So it actually shows the harmony that exists in Turkey in terms of the religion. Harmony, acceptance, I suppose. It's beautiful, though. If you're looking at it just for the aesthetic beauty, it's actually really quite incredible property. In addition to the Hagia Sophia, we spent some time in the Blue Mosque on this day. In the afternoon, another thing that you might want to think about doing is indulging in some Turkish pizza. It's traditional to crack the egg in the center of it. It's, oh my goodness, it's making me hungry just thinking about it. Day 3 on the itinerary, we're going to be traveling to Ankara. So we catch a flight to the capital city from Istanbul. In Ankara, we're getting into Ataturk's mausoleum. For those of you who don't know, Ataturk was the leader of the independence movement in Turkey. Ataturk actually means father of the Turks, and he's pretty much their country's hero. So you'll see and hear a lot about him from our local guides when you're on this itinerary. After Ataturk's mausoleum, you're walking through the Museum of Anatolian Civilization. Really incredible place just to kind of set you back into the minds of the Turks. The itinerary here now travels onwards from Istanbul through Ankara into Göreme. So Göreme is the place where we kind of hop off to get into the Cappadocia region. Um, One of the things that we like to do, of course, quite traditional in Turkey, is take you to a carpet factory. There's absolutely no pressure to purchase any of these woven goods, but it is an important part of the history and culture of the Turkish people. So it's really nice to go and hear people talk about the stories that come from these woven carpets, and to hear exactly how long it takes to weave these pieces. You can even try your hand at making a Turkish carpet if you're feeling very crafty. Now, on this day, there's a little bit of time in the afternoon just to rest and relax. We're actually staying in a really, really beautiful property here called the Sofa Hotel. It's quaint, it's adorable. Each room is really unique. It was one of my favorite places on this itinerary, getting into the Göreme area. There's a couple of optional activities in this part of the tour. We're actually giving the opportunity to do a traditional Turkish night, which is about 90 Turkish lira per person. It's a multi-course meal, local entertainment, some belly dancing, and just all around a pretty amazing experience. After this journey, we are going to be going into the Göreme Open Air Museum. It's a complex of medieval cave churches. From here, we get into Avanos for a visit, and then we go to walk in the Rose Valley. The evening is free for dinner, and then if we didn't pick up the Turkish night the night before, we could do the folk night here. So lots to see and do in this region. If there is good weather, there is also the opportunity to take a hot air balloon ride. It's about 150 to 200 euros per person. This is a great way to see Cappadocia, which is really captivating from the ground, but seeing it from up in the air is a pretty amazing experience. On this day, if the weather is good, we get up at about 5 a.m., enjoy a simple breakfast before hopping in the basket and taking to the skies in one of the most amazing places to take in this hot air balloon ride. A little bit of time in the afternoon in this region where we recommend getting in for a traditional Turkish bath. For those that haven't yet experienced it, this is a pretty interesting cultural thing to kind of check off your list of items to do when you're going into Turkey. Next day on this tour, we are going to be traveling from Görem over to Selçuk. So at this part of the tour, we are taking a flight to Selçuk. We're taking a walking tour to enjoy the remains of the Temple of Artemis, seeing the Eylülbey Mosque, and then getting into the St. John's Basilica. Pretty neat place. Coming from Canada, the history that you experience in this part of the world is actually pretty crazy, even to kind of wrap your head around. As Canada is such a young place, seeing these ancient temples is just amazing. Now, on this particular day, we're getting into, let me just show you the next photo in this, which is our Eylülbey Mosque. You can actually see the coast from here in the very, very far distance. We have a little bit of free time on this day, so really nice kind of just to relax and take it all in, because we've got a lot of things planned. Now, we're doing the walking tour with our guide. The Temple of Artemis, which we just saw just the photo before, was actually one of the seven wonders of the world. Well, there's not too much to see, as you can see in the photo. It's still pretty amazing and very easy to imagine from all the signposts what it would once look like. Now, this particular property is showing us a change from the Ottoman style or to the Ottoman style of architecture. And the Basilica of St. John is a ruined church that has amazing views over the countryside, and it's the reputed burial place of St. John, who passed away here back in AD 100. Again, this for me was just an amazing, amazing day full of history. On day 6 on our journey, we're visiting the ancient Roman town of Ephesus and the Ephesus Museum. We do wine tasting in a traditional Greek village, but Ephesus is really the highlight of this day. The architecture in the open library is spectacular. The beautiful amphitheater, which was in one of the earlier photos in this slideshow. But all around you is just absolutely amazing, amazing history. Next up, on day 7 of this journey, we're going to be traveling from Selçuk over into Çanakkale. Now, Çanakkale is where it's located on the coast. So beautiful coastal town. You get a little taste of the ocean. In here, we're traveling mostly to see the ancient ruins of Troy. So with this particular part of the itinerary, we have a guided tour in Troy. There's some really great nightlife in Çanakkale if anyone's looking to get out to go hear some local music. This is the Troy, the kind of reincarnation of the Trojan horse as depicted kind of by the Turks. Now, some of you may have seen the Brad Pitt version, which was actually a gift to the city of Çanakkale once filming had concluded a number of years back, just before that film came out. Now, it's beautiful, beautiful area of here. In the harbor of Çanakkale, it's a busy port with a thriving student population. So really, really great coastal waterfront dining options for everyone, beautiful patios, and really great kind of traditional food. This site of Troy, though, was made famous by Homer's Iliad and, of course, by Orlando Bloom and Brad Pitt. So going back into the cities, it was once regarded just as a myth until the ruins were found mid-19th century. So it's really important on this itinerary to be able to kind of picture what it once was like, because a lot of the sites that you're seeing, have crazy, crazy amounts of history, and time has definitely taken its toll on some of these places. Day 8 on the tour, we're traveling from Çanakkale to Istanbul. So you're actually traveling now from the Asian portion of Turkey backwards to the European portion of Turkey. So the country itself, Istanbul and that peninsula, is technically located in Europe, and then Anatolia is technically located in Asia. So you're actually traveling through 2 continents in one day, which I think is pretty amazing. So from Çanakkale, we're taking a boat tour over to Gallipoli to visit the Anzac Cove on day 8 of this tour. In the Anzac Cove, we're seeing the war cemeteries, the ancient kind of site of the Lone Pine, and hearing the history of the Australia-New Zealand Armed Forces or Army Corps when they were kind of battling here. This is really important to our Aussie and Kiwi cousins. It's similar in experience to going into the shores of France for Canadians, kind of taking back through the World War I history. From there, we're traveling all the way back into Istanbul to finish up this particular tour. So day 9 is back in Istanbul. This is our departure day, so no activities planned. Lots of things to see and do. There's a basilica cistern. I mentioned the Turkish baths. You can spend more time in the Blue Mosque or the Hagia Sophia. You can take a cruise on the Bosphorus, or you can just relax and do some people sightseeing or people watching through the Grand Bazaar. So our Taste of Turkey itinerary is 9 days out of Istanbul, departing May 5th, 2016. To get there, Alicia will be able to help out with your international tickets. In terms of medications and health and safety, we'll be providing you a list of things to maybe think about before you're traveling. No specific required medications for Turkey. Canadian travelers are able to travel to Turkey without organizing any visa in advance. And of course, if you do have any questions, Alicia is more than happy to help to answer them. So that's our Taste of Turkey itinerary. So this is exploring ancient ruins with the local expert guides, visiting rural villages, tasting local wine, walking through the fairy chimneys of Cappadocia, seeing where the East meets West in the particular kind of in the Turkish culture. So beautiful, beautiful country to see and explore. Hopefully this is something that you might have on your radar for 2016. I guarantee you'll have an absolutely amazing time with our local guides in Turkey and Alicia kind of leading the charge on this private group adventure. So you'll see Alicia's contact information on the screen in front of you. Please do reach out if you are interested in taking this itinerary. There are only 12 spaces available. Pricing on this journey is $16.49 Canadian per person. Flights done separately. That does include someone meeting you at the airport, comfort level accommodation, loads and loads of activities once you're in Turkey, and some of your meals kind of throughout the adventure. So thank you for joining us today for the G Adventures and Kaleidoscope Travel and Cruise feature presentation on our Taste of Turkey journey. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll hope to see you on the road adventuring sometime soon. Thanks very much.